Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Attack on Titan. I never thought I'd say that again. Last time on Attack on Titan, we had the Dawn of Humanity, which was nearly 2 years ago, so I don't fully remember what happened. But what I do remember is that the Rumbling made it to the shores of Marley, and we got to see all the Colossal Titans, paddling their feet in the ocean, and it was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. And then they stood up and started obliterating the Marleyan forces, which was cool, but I was too far gone at that point, so yeah. And some other stuff happened. I think there were flashbacks in that episode. I can't remember. Did Flock die? I hope Flock died. I don't want to see that guy again. I hated him so much. Okay, so Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapter, part 1, and the final season, the final chapter, part 2. That's what we're talking about today. Otherwise known as one of the biggest marketing blunders. Maybe not. I guess that implies a lot, but maybe one of the worst scheduling in the history of anime, which is they announced the final season, and it was the longest season that they had ever produced, and then they couldn't even finish it in 2 parts, so they had to create the final season, the final chapters. Whatever. Anyway, these came out a while back. I guess the first one came out, at the end of 2022, I think, and then the dub didn't come out for a while. And then part 2 came out in, November of 2023? Dub only just came out at time of recording this, so. And I am a dub guy, at least for Attack on Titan. I sort of cast my die for the dub. So go ahead, call it cringe. I don't care. It's how I started the show. It's how I'll finish the show. And if you've been watching pretty much my other anime reactions since the Dawn of Humanity, both the episode and, that's just how long I've been doing this, is since the Dawn of Humanity. I don't care for Season 4 of Attack on Titan. I'll list out some of my reasons, because I don't expect you to remember everything from, nearly 2 years ago when I last talked about this show. I hate what they did with Eren, honestly. I get it, but at the same time, and this isn't really okay. So, starting off, this is not solely a season 4 problem, because after the first season, Eren is no longer a character; he's a MacGuffin, and they really just didn't know what to do with him. And I know the guy did. I know the author did. Obviously, he had this plan from the very beginning. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing about that. I don't give 2 craps. Just because he had Titans walking in an ED in season 2, I don't care. Whatever. But Eren he stopped being an active character after the first season, and by season 4, he just isn't interesting enough. So it's we'll make him the villain. I still don't believe that Eren Yeager could come up with a plan, not only come up with a plan like this, but also successfully enact this plan to start the Rumbling, because Eren was always an idiot. He was always an idiot. Let's all face the facts, he was always an idiot. And by the way, if you're going to argue with me in the comments, go right ahead, but don't expect me to argue with you, because, look, I'm here to end this. I'm here to end this show. So I hated that. I hated the time travel, and I know people, for some reason, a lot of Attack on Titan fans, they'll argue and be like, there was no time travel. It was time travel. It was time travel, and you need to face the fact. That's the immutable point, that there was time travel. This is getting more aggressive, and I'm taking too long, and I just want to get this over with. So, I hated the time travel, because that was just stupid, because whatever agency that Eren had in Attack on Titan was just completely robbed of him by his future self. I hated that. I hated pretty much dispelling the mystery, and we knew that was going to happen, But I feel like it was just handled so poorly, where it's like, oh, we're going to give you the, here's the reveal, the great reveal in the basement. It's just Nazis. And that's, like, we had, like, giant man-eating monsters, and now they're just... Well, I mean, they're not the Nazis. It's that they're the Jews, and they're being sent in by the Nazis. But everyone is the Nazis except the Japanese, apparently, according to Attack on Titan. It's just that one of the countries is very Nazi, and everyone else is very Nazi. Is, not as Nazi. I don't know. But then the gall to be like, well, yeah, the Nazis are bad guys in this show. But are they the only bad guys? And it's like, fuck off. Like, look, even in World War II, yes, obviously other countries did terrible things, including the United States. But the Nazis are so cut and dry that it's like, it's hard to have that kind of nuance. I don't know. It's just, I thought it was just stupid. It's like, here's the Nazis. They're fucking Nazis. But that Eren Yeager, he might be the most evil of us all. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, he's the stupidest of them all. I don't know. It's stupid. I might cut this out. Who knows? Maybe not. Probably not. Anyway, so you're probably wondering why, if I disliked Attack on Titan Season 4, and it's a lot of Season 4, if I disliked Season 4 so much, and there is some interesting stuff, I actually did think Gabi was interesting. I know everyone, wants her dead. Well, stupid people, that sending the actress death threats because of Sasha. Stupid fucking people. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, if you're going to go that route, like, I thought that was kind of interesting, at least. I don't know. What was there anything else? Annie's back. Annie's back, and I like Annie. So, Zeke, and this isn't really, like, because this isn't, like, they don't take him seriously anymore, but that's kind of the problem, is Zeke, when he was introduced just as the Beast Titan, was one of the most, like, mysterious, terrifying foes. Here's a Titan who can talk. He's big, he's hairy, he looks like a monkey, and then he talks. And it's terrifying, and you don't know anything about him. You don't know who he is, and it's like, what an interesting thing. And pretty much from the moment Levi beats his ass, it's all over. Like, any shred of, intrigue, mysteriousness, coolness is all gone, And his plan, like, his backstory is okay, but his plan to just, like, oh, I'll make it so that all the Eldians, can't reproduce, and so we'll all just die out naturally. And it's like, Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? That was the stupidest thing. So in that respect, at least Eren wasn't that stupid, so I'll give him that. But why am I doing this? If I didn't like Season 4, why am I watching the end? Because unlike My Hero Academia, it's ending. That's a whole other conversation. The fact that I was hoping that My Hero Academia Season 7 was going to be the final season. The manga will just not end for some reason, and I'm genuinely debating just dropping the show because I don't care anymore and I hated Season 6. But with this, I know it will end. That after I record this today, it is over. It is completely over, and you know what? I can take that. And maybe this will be good. I mean, here's what I'm here for. I'm here for Levi because I love Levi. Levi is absolutely my favorite character. I'm here for Annie. I really like Annie. Like, Annie is just, like, such a mood, and I just love her. I could just take an entire spin-off about her. I loved her freaking OVA that they did. And I'm here for the action. It's Mappa. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. And I'm just ready for Eren to die. I'm ready for Eren to die. And all the Eren bros, I'm going to call you guys out for a second. All you Eren bros are the stupidest people ever. You people that hated Skylar in Breaking Bad, you know? The people that just suck Walter off, you know? It's like, I'm tired of... I got so... That's probably half the reason right there, which is not Attack on Titan's fault, but it's just stupid. I just hate it. So, I'm going to give this a chance. I'm not just going to be blindly hating on it. We've been talking for like 10 minutes, and I haven't even gotten started yet. There's 2 specials we're going to get through. My idea was to get it done in this video, but maybe I'll split it into 2, you know? At the very least, I'm splitting this into 2 recordings. I'm going to watch the first special, you know, have a discussion about it, and then I'm going to break for lunch and then come back and do the second one. So I don't know if I'm going to do this, you know, just put it all in one video so that it's done, or if I'm going to put it in 2 videos, but I don't know. Either way, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. Ugh, and I hope it's pleasurable. I hope it's good for you. I don't know if it'll be good for me. At the very least, we got the shot glass, and I almost forgot about this. I was like, oh yeah, I do have a prop for Attack on Titan. I've got the shot glass. When a character dies, or I just feel like taking a shot of a non-alcoholic drink, we'll take a shot. And I do have the first 3 seasons on Blu-ray over there. I decided not to get those out because I just didn't feel like it. Although, I will say, I'm glad I have those 3 seasons on Blu-ray. I was going to wait until Season 4 ended before I bought the Blu-ray. This was long before the final chapters were announced. And I'm just not going to buy Season 4 because I don't care enough. And for me, the moment they get to the basement, that's when the show ends for me. But hey, that's a really damn good show. So, with too much of that being said, probably, why don't we jump right into Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapters, part 1. Here we go.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold up!
Get out of my way, kid!
What? Wait a minute! All right, let him talk.
Let him talk. I am done listening to this asshole talk.
Alrighty, well, I've made up my mind. We're gonna split this into 2 things. We're just gonna do them back to back, so stick around tomorrow, and we will do Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapters, part 2, the finale. So, might as well. And yeah, we'll do them back to back. We won't do the week to week. We'll do it day to day, just cause that was a lot. That was a lot to do, and I don't know how long I'm going to be talking here before I take a break. But let's go. How long has it been since we've done this? My God. That's the thing, man. I have such fond memories of Attack on Titan. The show's still like a 9 out of 10, even with all my problems. I just have my problems, so. This is Hanji, what'd they say, the 14th commander of the Scout Regiment. And I cleaned that too. It was really dusty, but I cleaned it out before the video. You know, it was a good exit for Hanji, but at the same time, it is just kind of like, well, guess it's time for Hanji to die. How is the next part an hour and a half long, by the way? Because we're right here, like, this is it. This is the final battle, but I don't know, they're probably going to talk some more. You know, I am starting to think that half of the reason I didn't like this season is because of Eren Bros. I think that's part of it. And I like, this isn't just like there were Eren Bros on Twitter. There were Eren Bros in my comment section, you know, that were like, oh, Armin, Mikasa, and all of them, they're just traitors, you know. Eren is completely 100% right. And it's like, that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that Eren is so weak. He is so weak that he can't... This is the only thing he can do. Which, I guess that does tie into when I said, Aaron's an idiot. Aaron is not that bright, The most smart thing he's ever done is just a result of Annie, because he was able to use Annie's moves to defeat Rhina the first time. And that's also more of a reflection on Rhina than anything else, so... Here. There, I've sectioned off my notes, so... But yeah, this is kind of... I guess it's in character. That's... I don't know. See, that's the thing where it's like... And I guess, because I talked for 10 minutes at the beginning of this video of why I disliked what they did with Aaron. I mean, at the same time, it's I get it. It's... I don't know. It's just... It's stupid, but so is he. I mean, I guess it's the point, I guess it's the point, is that you've just been watching a weakling this whole time, And not even, physically weak, but just his will is weak, Because in all of this, I think the biggest thing is how much he talks about freedom, How much he talks about freedom when he is the least free person in the history of this entire series. There's nothing free about him. He is a slave to his own future, Now, if he gets through this, if he succeeds with the rumbling, then he would be free. But the fact that he hasn't mentioned the future at all, what happens past the rumbling, that's basically the tell, Because he saw everything. Absolutely everything. Down to remembering that he was gonna save Ramsey, the kid. He knew all of this. But he never once says what happens after the rumbling. He will lose. He will die. He's weak. And maybe that's just it. Maybe half of my frustration just comes from the Aaron bros. Now, granted, I still have a lot of problems with Season 4. I think the way that the mystery is dispelled, I just don't think it's that interesting, And I will say, as much as they talk about freedom, it's they talk so much about freedom, I don't know, this is almost like a Christopher Nolan movie. It's just they talk so much, It's we need to talk about it like in Batman, in The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight is still really good. But at the same time, it's when you have to talk and talk and talk and bust out, the philosophy textbook. It's oh my God, shut up. Show, do not tell. And I feel especially in Season 4, that honestly, that might be it. That might be part of it, because what they're telling is not bad. But Season 4 on, it becomes very show, don't tell. Or tell, don't show in this case. They talk more than they show, And not just of, let's try to talk to Aaron and talk it out. But it's just, this entire episode was practically talk about talking to Aaron, Even at the end, Armin's oh, there's more to talk about. It's oh my God, stop talking. That's why, even though they are right there at Aaron himself, that's why the next episode is an hour and a half long, because they're just going to keep talking. That's really it. And I don't know I don't know if it just doesn't work at this point, where we've suddenly switched to talk, don't show, or maybe Mappa just isn't good at that. Maybe, I don't know. Now again, when Mappa does an action scene, I mean, it's awesome, Mappa knows how to do action. Maybe they don't know how to do talking. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. Don't take anything I say, by the way. I'm no expert about any of this, and I'm just a guy with an opinion. That's it. That's all this video is. Don't take any of this too personally, and if you still like all of this stuff at the end of Attack on Titan, that's perfectly fine, and I do kind of get it, But for me, it just, ever since season 4, I've lost interest, So maybe that's it. It's not even that Eren... I mean, okay, I think it's a problem, too, with Eren, where it's like, alright, Eren is the main villain. But this isn't like Walter White, where Walter White was a vastly interesting character. Well, he was also a character. The problem is, in Season 2 and Season 3, and this is a problem with those seasons, Eren is a MacGuffin. He's not really an active player, Like, Season 2 is mostly about Reyna, Bertolt, Ymir, Krista, Historia, I guess. Season 3, Part 1, more Historia, Levi, honestly, with a bit of Mikasa. Season 3 is about Erwin and Hanji and Levi and Armin. It's not about Eren. Eren's just there. And in Breaking Bad, Walter White is the driving force of the narrative, So when you have him going against Gus, he's not just a MacGuffin, he's an active participant. It is a chess match between Walter White and Gus Fring. And then the final season, spoiler alert, I suppose, is Walt becoming the villain. But Walt is he's still the protagonist, he's still the active driving force of the plot, he's just also the villain. Whereas here, Eren still isn't, That's the problem, is Eren still isn't, because it's still, it's the Scouts, it's Reyna, it's Armin, it's Hanji. It's barely Mikasa, which is sad, I would like Mikasa to do a bit more, but in an entire episode that was mostly talking, there wasn't a lot of Mikasa talking, other than talking to Annie about how she's gonna step on Armin after all of this is done, and then talking a bit to Eren. But that was honestly that wasn't even talking to Eren, it was talking at Eren, and then Eren talked at them. Yeah, I think that kind of boils down a lot of my problems, is the final season is very much tell, don't show, Like, we have to listen to Eren. Like, we can't just, have that scene where, he knows that at this moment he saves Ramsey, the kid, and it conflicts him because he's like, what's the point? All of that is, he's talking the entire scene. Buddy, shut up. Shut up. I know a lot of people would love if Bryce Papenbrook shut up. I will say, Bryce Papenbrook, I know a lot of people hate him as Eren Yeager. I think he does Season 4 Eren the best. I've really enjoyed him as Season 4 Eren. I think he really has that down. But anyway. But just shut up. Just stop talking, Stop talking. Let me see, Just show the scene. Don't give me Eren's inner monologue. Just show, Ramsey, you see him at first. Maybe you see him at first. You see him, then you cut back. He's getting beat up. Aaron saves him, takes him back to, the shanty town, and, you have Ramsay say, "Oh, thank you for the help, mister," and you just see Aaron just break down, just the tears rolling off his face. Don't say anything, just have him in tears, or maybe even more subtle. Aaron, he says like, "Yeah, don't mention it," or something, and he starts to walk away, and you just see, the classic anime shot where it's only part of the face. You only see the lower part of his face. You don't see his eyes. You just see the lower part of his face as he walks away, and you just see a tear roll. Smash cut to Ramsay, with the money with his brother, and then boom, 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 rumble. Show, do not tell, because that entire scene is just Eren Yeager explaining the plot. I'm not deaf. I'm not blind. I don't need this. Shut up. Shut up. If I turned off the audio, I would get exactly the same, maybe more emotion out of it, than instead of Aaron just flapping his gab, Just shut up. And I don't know, I don't know, I assume that's just an issue in the manga, I assume that's an issue in the manga. They're adapting the manga as best they can, but that should have been a moment of quiet. I don't need to listen to him talk and talk and talk. And that is what season 4 is. The final season is talk. There are bits of action, yes, but it's talk. It's talk and talk and talk. And there have been moments of talking. I remember Kenny Ackerman's big, long-winded talk about, everyone's a slave to something, Like, you can have moments where you talk, but you need to show. And the first 3 seasons showed more than told. Even something like Grisha's backstory, I feel like, while yes, there was some, narration by Grisha himself, a lot of that really is shown, I feel like. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm misremembering that. I also just don't care for the show after that point. So, again, if I ever rewatch Attack on Titan, I'm stopping at the basement. Like, the end of that episode when it's like, oh, we're gonna go into the basement. Cut, and we're done, Talking is what led to the downfall of Zeke, Because Zeke was mysterious, and it's ironic because Zeke was, the talking Titan. But Zeke was mysterious for so long. And then he started talking. And he started talking about his euthanization plan. Which, I'm sorry, is still the dumbest thing ever. Again, the rumbling is at least not as dumb as that, But when Yelena is like, oh, now you must see the true, the true purpose behind the euthanization plan. It's like, no, that still would have been stupid. It's just that the rumbling is more dangerous, See, this is why I'm gonna have to split this into 2 videos, because I thought, like, well, I'll just do, a short discussion, and then we'll go, I'll take a break, but we'll just hard cut into the next special. But now I had to talk. I have to talk. That's the problem, is everyone's gotta talk. That is most of the world's problems, is everybody has to talk. And when someone talks, someone else gets mad. Because, watching that ending with the Marleyan general being like, oh, and if we make it through this, I vow to never be hateful again, and I will be compassionate. And it's like, that's great, man. 500 years, this is going to happen again. Maybe not the rumbling, but something's going to happen again. I'm sorry, that's what humanity is, you know? That's what humanity is. To an extent, Eren does have a point. He's crazy, but it's just like that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Sure, you can make a vow, but 3 or 4 generations down the line, they'll only hear of the mythical rumbling. 500, 1,000 years. No, it's not going to. It's gonna happen again. Because let's say a chunk of the population of Earth is killed in the rumbling. There's only so many survivors. Maybe we go back to the nomadic days, Eventually, a new country is going to rise up. And someone is going to get fucked over for it. Wouldn't even be that. It wouldn't even take that long for this to happen again, If everyone, becomes nomadic, everyone's sort of out on their own, eventually someone's going to hurt another person. And that's just going to be that. It's exactly what Japanese lady said. I don't remember her name. But when she's like, we did this alliance of convenience, out of our own self-greed, basically. We just did it for ourselves. And it's like, nothing will change. Nothing will change. And here's the other thing with the rumbling. It still wouldn't have changed. Like, eventually the Eldians would have turned on each other. Like, they're already so hateful. They're not going to just stick together. Oh, all the Eldians on Paradis are nice now. They're going to be nice to each other. Paradis already sucked anus before the rumbling. It's going to suck anus afterwards. Eren didn't solve anything. He just made it fewer people. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. And even the whole thing of, like, oh, Eren wants them to stop him. That doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's just... he's still doing it. He could have just not done it. He could have just not done it. But, as a lot of Eren bros will point out, he had no choice. You're right. You're right. This character was completely robbed of his own agency. Glad we talked that out. Glad we talked. Dear God, how much... Man, this is why I don't want to watch the next season of My Hero Academia, because I don't want to go on rants every day. And the worst part is, we still have another video. We still have another episode to go through, the final episode. Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapters, special number 2, the final episode, the grand finale. Boy, Mappa really screwed the pooch on that one. Good stuff in this episode. It was kind of nice to see these characters again, Seeing Annie and Armin, seeing Armin's Riz, what little he has is working on her. Mikasa's is just fun. It's nice to see Mikasa. Hanji's death was good. I like her sacrificing herself. I love, which I saw a tweet actually this morning. J. Michael Tatum tweeted that after Erwin's death, he stopped watching Attack on Titan because he couldn't do it. If Erwin never got to the basement, he couldn't either. He was so wrapped up in that character. So it's nice hearing his voice again. He's freaking epic, man. And that's even though it was kind of a like, well, now Hanji's just dead, like that's the end of Hanji. There you go. She's dead. She's gone. I did like it. It was a very Hanji thing to do, not only did she sacrifice herself, but boy was she excited. She gave it her all, and I like that moment of being with her fallen comrades, you know? Now she can rest knowing she did everything she could. Like, that was a good moment. I like that. I love Levi. I love Levi. Levi is so amazing. And Matt Mercer is so great as Levi. Levi feels like exactly what I need in stories like this, where you have all of this big stuff going on, and Levi, he's exactly what you need, because he's like, he doesn't care about any of this. You know, everyone, when they're in the, you know, the Aldean Void or whatever it is, you know, everyone is pleading with Eren, and Levi's like, alright, show your scrawny ass, you little bitch. You know? Like, he doesn't care about any of this. He's just there to do his job. Like, there's almost a simplicity to Levi that I just love, you know? So that's great. Falco can fly now, apparently. And I guess the idea is Annie will fly too. I love this whole thing of, oh yeah, Annie can take on any trait of the other Titans because that's what the female Titan can do. And it's like, okay, I don't remember this ever being established, but sure. I don't know, because that was never shown before. Like, maybe the closest is her hardening, but Eren could do that too before he, well, Eren got that from the hardening serum in, that Rod Rice had. It's like, yeah, that's, like, the Warhammer Titan has the biggest, you know, has the biggest use of that, but they all sort of have that ability, you know? I don't know. Are we good? Are we done? Are we done for right now? We come back tomorrow? Well, for you guys, it'll be tomorrow. And yeah, I'll just put this out on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Come back tomorrow. I don't know, I guess we'll talk. Because that's what Attack on Titan is now. It's just talking. Yeah, we have to split this into 2 videos just with how long this discussion was. So, tomorrow we will be back with the last Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapters, the final special, the grand finale. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Or for me, just after lunch. I'm hungry. See you guys later. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Attack on Titan reactions back before they were really ranty, as well as another video on screen. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.